Good afternoon, my dear student. Today I am going to start a new chapter. According to your syllabus, this one is the third chapter. That is, what is the name of this chapter? Migration. So, migration. As I already discussed in the previous chapter, that what is migration, why we read one point. So, migration means the movement of people from one place to another place. What is migration? The movement of people from one place to another place. It can occur temporarily and permanent basis also. So, what is the definition of migration? What we write? That the movement of people from one place to another place. It's known as the migration. Now, this migration, it can be occur temporary basis and the permanent basis. Now, what is the temporary and permanent? That when the people, they have to migrate, suppose those are the servicemen, they are doing the work under the central government or the state government, they sometimes they change their posting. So they few region they stay for the 1 year, 2 year, and again they have to went into the another place. This type peoples, when they moving areas, that is called the temporary migration. But what is a permanent migration? Suppose you are living in village, now permanently with your family, that is shifted in town. That is called, for the lifetime you have to stay on that particular place. You not change it. So that is called the permanent migration. Now this migration, that migration is very different, or this very totally is a separate things from the tourism. Sometimes we feel that migration and tourism are similar, but it's not. The migration and tourism, it totally is a different. The tourism means when you went by your own self, when you went some area for the visiting purpose. For the visiting purpose, and again after 1 month, after 15 days, again you return back in our home. That is called the tourism. But what is the migration? When we, for our need, for some reasons, when the peoples they migrate one place to another place, it's not the enjoyment. For some particular reasons, when they migrate from one place to another place, that is called the migrations. So these are the migration and tourism are totally different from each other. Now, first we have to discuss that what are the reasons. That the reasons for the migration. What are the reasons for this migrant? That why the peoples they change their place. The peoples generally, no one can want to leave their home and they went to the another place. But what are the reasons? What are the reasons that people they have to migrate? They went from one place to another place. So these reasons are divided into the two parts. The first one is the push factor and second one is the pull factor. What is the push factor? When some forcefully the peoples they have no option, they have to go on that place. That is called the push factor. And what is the pull factor? When the peoples are attracted by some things and they win that place, that is called the pull factor. Again I repeat it. Push factor means forcefully when the peoples they move from one place to another place, when they have no other option to it. But what are the pull factors? When the peoples attract about some things and they went that particular place, that is called the pull factor. Now here we have to discuss first what are the push factor that we have to peoples they have to migration. The reasons are responsible for the migration. The first one is the natural disaster like earthquake and floods. When the natural disaster is occur, like any natural disaster, earthquake, flood, volcanic eruption, that time the peoples sometimes getting the homeless. So they have no option, they have to go into another place for their surviving their lives. Second one is the drought or the resultant food shortage. If in one condition the drought is occur, that time they not get the sufficient amount of food. But without food, people cannot alive, so they have to go in the another place where they get the sufficient amount of food. The third one is the lack of accurate employment opportunities. For the every people, they should need the job. Now, if in one place people they not get the job, that the people he have to forcefully they have to go into the another place where he get the job. Next is the high rates of crime in the lack of safety. In those places, people not feel safe. They don't want to stay on that place. Generally they have to leave the place and they went into the another place. And the political and economic instability. In those areas that the political condition is not in a good way, or the economic condition is not in a good position, they not get the salary in proper time, or always the two political parties they become the conflict with each other. If this type of situation it happen, that time peoples they migrate from the one place to another place. So these are the different push factors the peoples they should have followed. That these are the reasons that peoples they have to forcefully they have to migrate from one to another place. Now again next we are going to read about the pull factors. Pull factors means what are the factors that attract the people to come on that place. Like the village peoples, they attract to the city. Now what are the features on it? First is the better living condition. They will know if someone will see that in the cities and towns the city condition was very nice. If I suppose I stay here, then I get all the facilities, opportunities I can also enjoy. So that is the reason that sometimes people attract towards the cities and towns when they first time they come from the village area. So this is also one of the reasons. Second is the better geographical and climatic condition. That the climate condition in the cities and towns is very nice. And also if they get the good sanitation system, drainage system, suppose in the village area, when the rainfall is occur, they are not get the support, the storm is occur, they not get the electricity for the 7 days or the 10 days. But in cities and towns, it not happen. Within 1 day or within 2 days, hardly 2 days, they get the return back the electricity. So these are the facilities on the roadways in the village area, the mud tracks. So when the rainfall is occur, it being the mud, totally being covered in mud. But in the cities and towns, they not have this type of problems. So these are the things they have to attract to the peoples. And better medical care. And in the village area, we know that is the health facilities are not available. But in the cities and towns, they get the proper health facilities. Next is the better opportunities for the education. Means the educational facilities. That in the cities, people they get the proper educational facilities. So those people are living in the village. If they need the higher education, if they want to do the higher education, they should come to the cities and towns. So this is also the attraction. And better infrastructure. Infrastructure means those are the bridges, dams, or those are the roads, railway tracks. This is called the infrastructure. And the cities and towns, their infrastructure much better than the village area. That is why these are one of the reasons also that they attract the people from the village to the cities and town. The next is, so you have to understand that what are the reasons for migrations, what are the pull factors and the push factors. You have to write. Now, next is going to discuss about the types of migration. What are the types of migration? The migration types are divided into the two parts. First is the internal migration. Second is the external migration. What is the internal migration? Inter means inside. When the migration is occur inside our country, this type migration is known as the internal migration. Like I give you one example, from Delhi to Mumbai or Kolkata, or from you can say the Kolkata to Chennai. These are the regions that when inside our country that people migrate from one place to another place, one city to another city, one town to another town. This type of migration it's known as the internal migration. And second is the external. What is the external migration? External means the exist from our country. Okay, so from outside, from the one country to another country. Which type of migration it's occur from one country to another country? This type of migration is known as the external migration. Like India to USA, India to Australia, from country being changed only. That is called the external migration. Again I repeat, what is the internal and external migration? Internal migration means which migration it take place inside of our country. That is known as the internal migration. Like from Delhi to Kolkata, Kolkata to Chennai, these are the migration. It's known as the internal. Now, what is the external migration? External migration means when the country being changed, means which migration take place from one country to another country. This type of migration is known as the external migration. Like from India to USA, India to Canada, these are the migration. It's known as the external migration. So these are the two main types. Now here we read about the two sub-part of it. Now internal migration are divided into the two parts. The first one rural to urban migration and urban to rural migration. Now what is the rural to urban migration? That generally most of the migration it's occur. That mainly the high amount of migration is occur from which reason you know? From the village to town. Village to town, because most of the village person they shifted into the town. After some years they start to live in the town. So these are the main reason this type of migration is occur, that people generally this migration when the peoples are migrate from the rural area to the urban area. This type of the migration it's known as the rural to urban migration. Again I repeat, what is the rural to urban migration? When the peoples are migrate from the rural area or village area to the urban area or the cities and town. This type of migration is known as rural to urban migration. Now the second one is the urban to rural migration, opposite one that happened here. that sometimes when the peoples they are living in the cities and town for the long time of period, but they are not able to slide, means after the 60 years, sometimes they want to get returned back in their own origin place. That time they are doing this type of migration, that is called the urban to rural migration. Generally it's not happen, but sometimes when the peoples they after the 60 or after the retirement age, sometimes the peoples want to return back in their own origin place, and they are doing this type of migration, that urban to rural migration. So what is the urban to rural migration? That when the people migrate from the urban area to rural area, this type of migration is known as urban to rural migration. That is from the cities and town to the village area. This is example about the urban to rural migration, and it's occur very rare in case. Now next is the external migration. So you understand that internal migration are divided into two parts: rural to urban migration, urban to rural migration. These are the two main parts. Now external migration are divided into the three parts. What are the three parts? First is the legal migration, second is the illegal migration, and third one is the forced migration. Again I repeat it. External migration are divided into the three parts. First is the legal migration, second is the illegal migration, and third is the forced migration. What is the legal migration? When the migration take place from the these are the external, means one country to another country, this migration. So when the people they migrate from one country to another country with the proper document and the taking permission from the authority of that particular country, this type of migration is known as the legal migration, means with the proper passport and visa. So what is the definition of the legal migration? That external migration are divided into three parts. That between them, one of them is the legal migration. When the peoples they migrate from one country to another country with the proper documents, means with the passport and visa, this type of migration is known as the legal migration. Like the people went to India to Australia with the proper passport and visa. This type of migration is known as the legal migration. Legal things. Okay, legally is a process. With the process it occurs. Now the second one is the illegal migration. What is the illegal migration? Illegal means opposite one. When the people migrate from one country to another country without any proper document. You have to understand it. When the people migrate from one country to another country without any proper valid document, this type of migration is known as an illegal type of migration. Remember this? When the peoples are migrate from one country to another country without any proper document, means without visa and passport, this type of migration is known as the illegal migration. Okay. Now the third one is the forced migration. What is a forced migration? There are sometimes people that forcefully, they have no option. They have to forcefully they have to send. Sometimes during the war between the two countries, those are the common people from one country to another and large in size. They have to. This forced migration is also known as the mass migration also. You know for what? Because a large amount of people together they have to move from one place to another place. That is why this type of migration is known as the forced migration. That means what is the definition? In which migration process that forcefully that people they should migrate from one country to another country. This type of migration is known as the forced migration. And this migration are generally take place when the war is occurred or any natural disaster is occurring in a large amount in one country. That in the huge amount of people from that particular country they shifted into the other country. And this type of migration is known as the forced migration. So remember that this type of migration is known by which name? Forced migration. Okay. So today up to here, you understand. I hope that you understand all the things. This is a very important chapter. That the migration, different type of migration. What are the reasons for migrations? So you first see the video. Then after that you read your books once. Then you can understand properly. This all the things. Okay. So today up to here. Thank you.